Hi students, how are you all? I hope all you are fine and well. Welcome to my social science class. Myself Shomiron sir, and today I am back with your social science class. So I hope all of you have watched my last video on geography chapter number 5, and on that video I have explained the first part of the chapter, and today I am here with you to explain the last part of chapter number 5 of geography. So on the last class I have already discussed about the water cycle, the distribution of water, as well as few questions I have given at the end of the video, and I hope all of you have written those answers in your copy. So watch this video till the end. After completing this chapter, I will give you some question, and the last slide of the video you will note down all the question in your copy and try to solve the answer. And on the coming class we will discuss the solution of those answers. So today our chapter starts with the movement of ocean water. You know, the ocean water is not stable or still, it moves, and we are dividing the movement of ocean water into wave, tides and current. The first is the wave. I hope all of you have seen the ocean or the sea, and you have also experienced the wave of the ocean. So a question always comes to our mind that why the waves is generated or how it is generated. So in this chapter, in this part, we will discuss about the generation of the waves. So how the waves are generated? When the water on the surface of the ocean rises and falls alternatively, they are called the waves. So when there is a rise and fall of the water on the sea surface, they are called the waves. And how the waves are formed? The waves are formed when the gentle wind curves across the ocean surface. The stronger the wind blows, the bigger the wave becomes. So with the speed and the velocity of the wind, the stronger the wind is, the height of the waves or the bigger the waves it will form. So if you have seen the sea during the storm, you can see that there is a lots of bigger waves or huge waves are formed. So during a storm, winds blowing at a very high speed to form huge waves. They are cause tremendous destruction. An earthquake, a volcanic eruption, or underwater landslide can shift large amount of ocean water. As a result, a huge tidal waves are called tsunamis. So one more term which is associated to the waves is the tsunamis. Okay, it is a Japanese word which means the harbor waves. So when the large waves are formed due to earthquake or due to volcanic eruption or maybe the underwater landslide, those waves are called the tsunamis, and they are quite destructive in nature. The largest waves we have measured is almost up to the height of 150 meter, and the waves when they are generated and they are striking near the coast, they are of the great height near to about 700 to 800 kilometer per hour, and they are striking on the coastal area, which cause a lot of destruction. Okay, and one of the tsunamis we have heard about 2004, which occurred on the Indian Ocean, and it has been destructive in nature, quite destructive in nature. It destroyed many of the coastal lands of the areas which are located along the Indian Ocean, as well as India also. It has affected our country also, and some parts of Andaman and Nicobar Island. One of the last part of Andaman and Nicobar Island, which is called the Indira Point, it has been submerged under water. Okay, so many of the lands after tsunami of 2004 we have found they have been such submerged underwater, gone underwater. So from here we have to also learn what is tsunami. So apart from the book what it is given, some new one information I want to give you about tsunami. So what is tsunami? Tsunami is a giant wave or a series of waves or usually caused by the earthquake or volcanic eruption on the seabed, okay, or the sea floor when there is a volcanic eruption, earthquake, or maybe a collision due to two plates or a landslide underwater. This can cause huge or giant waves which are called tsunamis. And these tsunamis, when they travel and reach the coast, the speed of the waves is increased as well as the height of the wave is also increased, which cause a huge destruction in the coastal area. So from here you can also note down definition and the characteristics of tsunami. So how this tsunami is formed? One picture is given. You can see here two of the landmass is over there, and this landmass previously the part same part, and suddenly there may be a slide of land under the water or under the ocean, or maybe a sudden earthquake originated over there and a huge rise of the waves. And these waves, when in the huge form they struck on the coastal area, they can also cause tsunamis. So it is also a cause of tsunamis. So in your book you can see one case study is given about tsunami. Okay, tsunami or the harbor waves struck havoc in the Indian Ocean on 26 December 2004. It is a remarkable one. On 2004, it struck on the Indian Ocean. The wave was the result of the earthquake and has its epicenter close to the western boundary of Sumatra. Okay, Sumatra Sea is there, Sumatra Island is Java, Sumatra. Over there, the epicenter. Epicenter you have already learned. Epicenter means from where it is originating. Okay, and the Richter scale, the magnitude of the earthquake is 9.0 on the Richter scale. Richter scale is the measurement. Okay, the scale on which earthquake intensity is measured, it is called the Richter scale. So the Richter scale is 9.0. It is too much destructive in nature. As the Indian plate went under the Burma plate, there was a sudden movement of sea floor causing the earthquake. So two of the plates which are moving towards each other, one is the Indian plate, another is the Burma plate. Okay, plates are the rigid lithospheric slabs. Under the ocean there is a solid hard landmass. Under the continent also there are some solid hard landmass. They are known as the plate, and these plates are always moving either towards each other or away from each other or sliding each other. And when these two plates collide with each other, it can cause to a huge shaking or earthquake. And if such earthquake occurs under the water, okay, a huge giant wave is formed which is called the tsunami. So here Indian plate and Burma plates collides, and the Burma plate went under the Indian plate, and there was a sudden movement of sea floor closing the earthquake. The ocean floor was displaced by about 10 to 20 meter and tilted in the downwardly direction. A huge mass of ocean water flowed to fill the gap, and there was being created a displacement. Okay, so a displacement, due to the displacement of the plate, a huge mass of ocean water flowed in the gap, and this marked the withdrawal of the water mass from the coastline of land masses in the South and Southeast Asia. After thrusting of the Indian plate below Burma plate, the water must rush back towards the coastline. So after this, a thrashing this landmass, these two landmass when it's collide, okay. After thrashing of that Indian plate below the Burma plate, the water rushed back towards the coastline, and suddenly the water, the huge bulk or the huge giant waves of water, they started to flow towards the coastline. Tsunamis travel at the speed of 800 km per hour, comparable the speed of commercial aircraft, and completely washed away some of the islands of Indian Ocean. So with a huge speed and velocity, the waves suddenly got struck in the coastal area, and the speed is near to 700 to 800 km per hour, the speed in which the jet planes are flowing, and they suddenly struck on the coastal area, which caused a lot of destruction. Okay, many of the islands, due to this huge wave, has been submerged underwater. Still now also. Indira Point of Andaman and Nicobar Island, that marked the southernmost point of India, got completely submerged. As the waves moved from earthquake epicenter from Sumatra towards the Andaman Islands and Sri Lanka, the waves length decreases with the decreasing of depth, and the travel speed also declined from 700 to 900 km per hour to less than 70 km per hour. So from there where the waves are originating, okay, or where the earthquake is originating, that is known as the epicenter, okay, and the epicenter is near to Sumatra, and it started to move towards the Andaman Islands and Sri Lanka, and this wave gradually decrease with the decreasing depth of the water, and ultimately the speed is reduced to 70 km per hour. Tsunami waves traveled up to the depth of 3 km from the coastline, killing more than 10,000 people and affected more than lakhs of houses. So lot of destruction you can see it caused. In India, most affected coastal areas Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Pondicherry and Andaman and Nicobar. So these are the places in our country which got maximum destruction as they are located in the coastal area. While the earthquake cannot be predicted in advance, it is possible to give 3-hour notice to potential tsunami. We cannot predict, we cannot protect this tsunami, but we can predict it. We can assume this can come, okay, and if we give the notice to the people will move away from the coastal area to the safe zone. Such early warning system in the place across the Pacific Ocean, but not in the Indian Ocean. Tsunamis are rare in Indian Ocean as the seismic activity is less as compared to Pacific Ocean. So such types of alarming stations are not there in Indian Ocean, because Indian Ocean is not so much destructive, or the seismic waves means the earthquake waves or the waves which are generated in the interior of the earth which can cause to earthquake. So such types of activity maximum it occurs in Pacific Ocean. So people thought that Indian Ocean is quite more safe, but you can see that Indian Ocean, due to this tsunami of 2004, it became much more violent and destructive. Tsunami that ravaged in the south and the Southeast Asian coast in December 2004 is the most devastating tsunami in the last several hundred years. The large damage caused to life and property, and primarily a result of lack of monitoring the early warning system knowledge among the coast dwellers of the Indian Ocean. And it is much more destructive because the alarming or the warning is not given in proper time to the people, and maximum people cannot shift themselves to the safe zone Okay, that's why lot of people died, lots of the houses and the places are underwater, lots of property is damaged, and it is one of the worst and dangerous or devastating earthquake for last, which doesn't occur for last 100 years. Okay, these types of tsunami. The first indication that the tsunami is approaching is rapid withdrawal of water from the coastal region followed by destructive wave. So how they can predict that these types of tsunami is going to be happen when they have seen that there is a rapid withdrawal of water from the coastal areas followed by the destructive wave. When this happened to the coast, instead of people going to high ground, they started assembling at the coast to view the miracle. So in the coastal area, when before the tsunami, when the coastal water is rapidly moving away from the coast, people thought it is a miracle. Instead of the water is coming towards the coast, it is going away from the coast. So lots of people, instead of going to the safe zone or in the high ground, okay, to make themselves safe, they start to assemble, they start to make crowd near the coastal region to watch these types of miracle. As a consequence, there was a large casualty of the curious onlookers when the gigantic wave tsunami struck. That's why the people who have assembled near the coast to see these types of things, instead of going away from the coast, lots of casualty happened, lots of people died, okay, due to the sudden onset of tsunami towards the coast. So you can see one picture over there how the waves are gradually coming. The height of the waves is less when they are in the mid of the sea from where the epicenter, but gradually when they are going towards the coast, the height of the waves is gradually increasing, and these high or large waves are, when they are striking in the coastal region, they can cause tsunami. Okay, so you can study this picture and few of the impacts: approach, tectonic activity, belt travel, how it is approaching towards the coast. You can see, you can also follow this picture. See the waves, gradually they are starting to bind up and their height is gradually increasing and they are striking on the coastal region. So this is tsunami. Tsunami, in simple word we can tell it as a large waves, and it causes a huge destruction in the coastal areas. So this is the movement of water. The first one is the waves. Now the second one, the tide. Tide is also the movement of ocean water. What is tide? The rhythmic rise and fall of the ocean water twice in a day is called the tide. It is the high tide when the water covers much of the shore by rising to its highest level. It is low tide when the water falls to the lowest level and recede from the coast. So tides are two types, high and low. When the level of the water increases from the general level of the sea level, they are called the high tide, and when it decreases from the general level, it is called the low tide. Okay, so twice a day the high tide and the low tide occurs. So what is the main cause of the tide? Due to the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon, the strong gravitational pull exerted by the sun and the moon on the earth's surface causes the tide. What is the cause of the tide? The gravitational pull of the earth. The water on the earth closer to the moon gets pulled under the influence of moon's gravitational force and cause high tide. So it is the earth, due to the gravitational force of the sun and the moon. What is happening over there? You can see the water level, somewhere it is increasing and somewhere it is sinking or bulging. Okay, So due to the gravitational pull of the sun and the moon, the water level is going higher. During the full moon and the new moon day, the sun, the moon, and the earth are in the same line and the tides are highest. These tides are called the spring tide. So when the sun, the moon, and the earth on the same line. Okay, so on the full moon day or the new moon day, the level of the tide is highest. Okay, so this is called the spring tide. And what is nip tide? When the sun, the moon, and the earth is at the right angle, they are called the nip tide. But when the moon is in its first and the last quarter, the ocean water gets drawn in diagonally opposite direction by the gravitational moon pull of the sun and the earth, resulting low tide. These tides are called the nip tide. So in the first and the third quarter, what is happening? The sun, the earth, and the moon, they are at the right angle, 90-degree angle. So this is called the nip tide. Okay, this way the water is bulging due to the gravitational pull of the moon, and in this side the water is bulging due to the gravitational pull of sun. So this area, the high tide and the low tides are occurring. So mainly the low tide is occurring as they are diagonally opposite direction of the gravitational pull and of the moon and the sun. So here it is the nip tide, when the tide level are low from the general tide level, and when the tide level are much higher than the general tide level, they are called the spring tide, when the sun, moon, and the earth is in the straight line 180 degree. So here you will prepare one difference between the spring and nip tide. What are the causes of the spring and nip tide? Okay, and which phase of the moon? The spring tide is occurring on the new moon day and the full moon day, and the first and the third quarter of the moon, the nip tide is occurring. Along with the diagram you will practice. High tides helps in the navigation. They rise the water level close to the shore. This helps the ship to arrive in the harbor more easily. So how tides are important to us? What are the advantages? It helps in the navigation. Okay, so while the water level is higher, it helps the navigation of the ship, as well as the ships arrive to the harbor more easily. High tides also help in fishing. Many more fish come closer to the shore during the high tide. This enables fishermen to get a plentiful catch. The rise and the fall of water due to tide is being used to generate electricity of the place. So these are all the advantages of the tide. Tide is helpful for navigation. It is helping the ship to come to the coast. For the fishermen, it is also helping for catching the fish, as well as due to the high tide, when the force of the water is more, it helps to develop electricity. Okay, from the tidal energy, the energy which is created from the tide, this is converted into electricity. So these are all, from this last paragraph, they are all the advantages or the usefulness of the tides. Here on another picture I have already given for the tide, spring tide and nip tide. If possible, if you want, you can also draw it out in your copy. Next, the third movement is the ocean currents. The ocean currents mainly Ocean currents are the streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in the definite direction. The ocean current may be warm or cold. So, the ocean current are two types, warm ocean current and cold ocean current. Ocean currents are the streams of water flowing constantly on the ocean surface in a definite direction. In a particular direction, when the ocean water is moving, they are called the ocean current. There are two types of ocean current, warm ocean current and cold ocean current. Generally, the warm ocean current originates near the equator and moves towards the pole, and the cold ocean current carry water from the pole or the higher latitude to the tropical latitude. So normally warm ocean current originates near the equatorial region, and the cold ocean current, they are originating on the polar region. The Labrador current is a cold current, while the Gulf Stream is a warm current. So these are the examples: Labrador current, Gulf Stream, warm ocean current, one is cold. The ocean current influence the temperature condition of the area. Warm ocean current bring warm temperature over land surface, and the areas where the warm and the cold ocean current meet provide the best fishing ground of the world. So ocean currents, when the warm and the cold ocean current, where they are meeting, they are making the temperature of the ocean comfortable, which helps for the growth of plankton, a type of food for the fish, zooplankton, phytoplankton, and they developed in the region much more better where the cold and the warm ocean current meet. So on those regions, they are very much beneficial for the growth of the fish, or fish are living over there, and they are developing as a good fishing ground. Areas around Japan and the eastern coast of northern America are such examples where the fishing ground developed. The areas where the warm and the cold ocean current meet also experience foggy weather, and making it difficult for navigation. As well as one disadvantage is also there. Advantage is the fishing ground is developing where the cold and the warm ocean current is meeting. But disadvantage is that over there they are experiencing very much foggy weather, and when it is foggy, we cannot see properly, and it is difficult for navigation of the ship. The ship cannot move properly. The sailor cannot see it. So the Japan coast or the North American coast, they may be the good fishing ground, but sometimes due to dense fog, it is very much difficult for navigation or for the fishermen for catching the fish. You can also see the map. You can follow this map. There are some ocean currents and the direction in which they are moving. Okay, suppose the North Atlantic Drift, the Labrador current. Okay, two more important ocean currents are there on the Japan coast. This is Oishio current, cold current, Kuroshio current, warm current, and here the good fishing ground is developing, as well as on the North America also. Okay, Labrador current and Gulf Stream, one is cold, and here also the good fishing ground is developing. Several other fish ocean current you can see. Okay, and some are warm ocean current and some are cold ocean current. From here the arrow with different colors are given about the ocean current, which one is warmer and which one is colder. So I hope you have understand the chapter. I have discussed about the tides, about the ocean currents, and about the waves, as well as I have also discussed about tsunami and given you some extra information. So watch it properly and minutely, and now some questions are there. You just go through the question and write down the answer. What are sea waves? I hope you can. How are tsunamis formed? How they cause destruction? Describe the importance of tide to man. I know you can write it. Seas around Japan are good fishing ground but difficult for navigation. Give reason. Just now at the last part of the video I have told why fishing ground is developing in the coast of Japan, but sometimes the fishermen are facing problem for navigation in the sea on those particular areas. So what is the reason? Gulf Stream is the example of dash. What is Gulf Stream? What is the and some match the following is there from column A and column B, and you will match it out. And the solution I will discuss on the next video. So I hope you have all understand, and now you know that in this COVID situation, day by day the condition is getting worse. So all of you should stay at home and stay safe. Thank you all and have a nice day.